Welcome back. My next guest has been a Republican U.S. representative from Virginia since 2001. He has served the House as the House Majority Leader since 2011. We welcome back to the closing bell Eric Cantor in a first on CNBC interview. So good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Maria, pleasure.
So I want to first, I guess, start off with the president's comments about the sequester. You know, earlier the president said that the sequester at a press conference is doing real harm to the economy. Let's listen in. I want to get your reaction to that. Here's President Obama.
The notion was somehow that we had exaggerated the effects of the sequester. Remember? The president's, crying wolf. He's Chicken Little. The sequester, no problem. What we now know is that what I warned earlier, what Jay stood up here and warned repeatedly, is happening. It's slowed our growth. It's resulting in people being thrown out of work. And it's hurting folks all across the country.
So, Leader Cantor, what about that? I mean, we know what went on with the FAA and all those furloughs, and everyone was saying, well, why is it that we couldn't have been more organized in terms of saying this airport is busier than this airport, so let's take, fewer people furlough here and more here. So what is the truth?
Right. Well, again, it was always our belief that the FAA and the administration had the legal authority to enforce the reductions in spending in a smart way. They came back and finally relented and said, we're not going to keep this pressure on, as I think the original intention was, and went ahead and asked for the bill that just passed last week. But listen, overall, the sequester in terms of across-the-board cuts, I don't think anybody chooses that way to go and reduce spending. But over and again, the House has tried to get the president to come along and join us with cuts that make sense. We all know we got a spending problem. We got to come together and try and address that so we can get this country back onto a growth track.
How much of the sequester has taken effect, and how much do you think this is going to be an issue later on in the year? In other words, is the sequester going to cause slowdown second half of the year?
Well, if you look at it overall government-wide, in entitlement spending as well as discretionary spending, I think the estimates are the sequester may amount to about a 4% cut. And certainly if you were to go and take that in the context of the private sector, when you have to do these kind of things, you manage it, you go in and try and achieve efficiencies. Certainly there are areas in the federal government that we can reduce the spending on.
People are so upset that Congress seems to be unable to come together on some of these issues. We've got the debt ceiling debate coming up, right? That's going to be another fight. That's what, this summer, sometime in July?
Right, that'll be, the Treasury's indicating maybe in July, maybe later. We don't really know. In the House, we're hard at work trying to figure out what the best way forward is. I mean, obviously, we're a country that pays its bills, but we also maintain a real commitment to say we've got to do something about the unfunded liabilities that keep mounting associated with the entitlement programs. We can all do this. We can get together and solve this problem, and hopefully we'll see some success this summer.
And what about tax reform? How would you like to see the tax reform play out?
Well, I think all of us would like to see comprehensive tax reform take place where we can actually make our codes simpler, fairer, reduce rates so we can spur some innovation and growth. This conference we're at, the Global Forum, the Milken Global Forum, is all about innovation and growth. I think making priority innovation is where we ought to head in terms of tax reform and policy in D.C.
And I guess you're going to be talking to Harry Reid here at the Global Conference, right? That's going to be interesting.
We had an interesting discussion, a panel yesterday. I think it served a purpose to try to bring us together and so we can appreciate some of the sensitivities on both sides. Obviously, he and I disagree on a lot, but I think we've got to practice setting aside those agreements and coming together in areas that we do have in common to produce some results.
So here we are at this forum where, as you said, it's all about growth and innovation. How does the U.S. economy get back to a sustained growth rate?
Well, I think we need some real commitment to free markets, some real commitment to balanced, sensible regulations, not just more regulation, a commitment to having a competitive tax structure. Right now, we hear over and again that that's an issue for American-based multinationals and people looking to invest their capital here. I also think we need to focus on promoting an ecosystem for investment. We want investors to come here, allocate their capital to the United States to go and create wealth and build value.
So that means supporting small business, supporting business so that they actually do invest in innovation.
We want to be the destination for entrepreneurial investment. We got to talk to small business people. We know they're the job generators. Innovation breeds jobs.
Eric Cantor, great to have you on the program. I know that we wanted to have more time. We hope you'll come back
Absolutely.
and join us for an extended interview. Republican House Majority Leader with me, Eric Cantor. That'll do it for Closing Bell. Thanks so much for being with us. I'll see you tomorrow back in New York.